So I'm going to talk a bit about clustering with ArcGIS API for JavaScript. So you can cluster just about anything. Seriously. Well, feature layers and a lot of data, right? Clustering's been in the API for a while. It's gotten a couple of tweaks recently. I think my camera is being funky. So the API has clustering. It is on the feature layer where you can turn it on, and it's under a option called feature reduction. And I was searching for this earlier. It looks like Chrome broke, got stuck. So okay, let's make this a little bigger. So feature reduction is what you're looking for, right? So you probably well, not probably, but you can do clustering in the online map viewer, and it's pretty easy to set up there, and it you can do all your rendering and everything there, define which ones symbols to look like and make the clustering all nice and pretty. Or you can just do it directly in the API, right, when you build an app, which is what I'm going to do, because I've got this data set here which is ridiculously large, and I have actually shown this map a number of times. Gap, pass, notch, or saddle. I've done a blog post on it and everything. What's it got, like 2 million features or something like that in the data set? Don't remember. 2.2 million points or whatever, right? It's a lot of points. And this, by default, the layer just kind of shows them all as these firefly symbols, which is kind of cool. So there's a lot of points in here, is my point. So I thought it would be a good candidate to try clustering with, right? So that is what I'm going to do. So what I can do here is go to the overview page. I'm going to need this ID here. Okay, so let me make my stuff. So I'm going to make my layer. It's going to be equal to a new feature layer. And that feature layer is going to take a portal item, and that's going to take my, my ID. Let's get this, I copied over here. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for that. Let me make my map. My map is going to be equal to a new, I probably should have done this ahead of time. Come on. Vector. And layers is going to have the layer, the one that I'm adding, right? So I'm going to center this. I'm going to put this around the LA area, roughly. I always put it above like Whittier or so, just because I know that long. I'll do a zoom level 6 to get me in pretty good, because even though the API can display everything, a lot of points and everything pretty nicely, it's just, I don't want to bog the browser down trying to display 2 million points. I'm not going to do that. The clustering would be ridiculous with that too. I mean, I think it would work, but man, I don't know what happens if I try and cluster 2 million points in the browser, because this is all done in the browser, right? Don't forget that. So, okay, so there is our map. Let's go ahead and view this. So that's a lot of features. I mean, even just in the LA area, look at, they're still loading in the background here. So I can't remember exactly how I had done the symbology here, but I'm using the fireflies to do stuff. And each of these colors is based on whether the location has the name, gap, pass, notch, or saddle in the name for the location, right? That's kind of how this is set up. So it's got its own pop-up template and everything. Josephine's saddle, right? There's a bunch of points here. So there's a lot of data in here, right? So we're going to try turning clusters on for all this stuff. So let's go in here. I can override anything on the feature layer that I want. Even though I'm bringing it from a portal item, that doesn't mean I'm stuck with whatever the portal item is defined having, right? So even though it doesn't have clustering on it, I can go ahead and add it. So I'm going to do a feature reduction. Type is cluster. And there's a type because there is a different kind of feature reduction you can do in a 3D environment. I believe in 3D it's called selection, right? I should play around with that. At some point, I'm going to do some cool 3D stuff here for you guys too, because I think that'd be kind of fun. I don't do 3D stuff too often, but I like to have fun with it when I do. So, okay, there we go. That's not bad. The only reason you see stuff like this is that the firefly symbol is like a picture marker symbol, and it just it can do some weird stuff now and again. So, oh, I don't want to zoom out. So, okay, so I've clustered all that data, and you can see it needs to get recalculated when I'm zoomed in and stuff like that. There's just a lot of data happening there. That firefly symbology is not helping either. Okay, maybe if I go in like one level, one zoom level, let's see what that looks like. That's a little better. All right, so, okay. I think that, yeah, that's a good one. That's a pretty good location. So now what I'm going to do is I want to click on these. So if I go to feature layer and, oh yeah, here, selection only applies to scene view. That's what I was looking for. So I need to go ahead and pull some stuff out of there. So if I go to the overview here and we look at the release notes, the release notes mention that you can now query the clustered features using aggregate IDs, right? So this is what I'm going to be toying around with. So I need to get my graphic for the cluster, check if it's aggregate, and then I get the object ID for it using this query the aggregate IDs, which is going to be how I get all the features that make up the cluster. All right, so let's go ahead and play around with that and see how we can do that. I'm going to do it on the layer view because the data is already there. I shouldn't have to go back to the server and request more data. So I'm going to do a little, this isn't how I would do this in the production environment where I just do a layer view up in here, but you know, I'm just rolling in demo mode, man. I don't need to do anything special. So I'm going to do view and layer view, pass it the layer. This returns a promise. So then I get a, I'll get a layer view back, and I'm going to say that layer view is equal to X. Right, real quick and dirty way to grab the layer view, put in the variable, and just have it hanging around for use in your application, right? Okay, so let's do this now. So I want to wait for the view to be done, taking care of business, doing its thing, having a good time. That's what I'm doing. I'm just having a good time, mixing it all up, right? So I need to, okay, first off, I need a symbol. Now I learned this the hard way, doing stuff. So when I get these features back, I want to display the points on the map, and I want to put them, display them somehow. So I need like a default symbol that I'm going to use. So let's make a symbol here. So I'm like symbol, should be an object. I'll let autocasting do its thing. So the type, I know these are points, so let's make a simple marker. I don't need to get carried away here. I'm going to have an outline. My outline is going to be a color, and that color is going to be, it's going to be white. So 255, 255, 255, and 1. It's not transparent at all. I think I could just put white there, but you know what? Let's stick with using the RGBA if I can. Size, we're going to go with 4. And the color for the symbol itself is going to be this funky, not funky, but it's kind of a brighter green color. Okay, so there's a symbol. Just got out of the way because I will be using this in a moment over here. So what I want to do is that when the view is ready, I want to have a query for doing my queries ready to go. So I can do that by doing a query equals to, layer dot create query. Real quick and dirty way to create a query that is going to be for this particular layer. I think I've talked about this in the past, but if not, essentially this query that the layer gives me is going to have any predefined filters like definition expressions and stuff in it, so that when I query my data, I don't need to add those filters. Now, if I don't want to apply the filters when I query my data, for example, maybe have a definition expression that says I only care about showing everything that has the name gap in the point, then I can go in and clear the definition expression because I want everything, not just the stuff that's been filtered to. But it's up to you. I just kind of, it's a quick and dirty way. I don't have to import a query module and do all kinds of funky stuff. It's how I like to roll, man. You know. So now what I need to do is I'm going to wait for when I click on the map. So I have a little click event here, view on click, and this is going to give me an event. So let's have a little E here. That event is going to have the screen coordinates in it, so it's going to have an X, Y in there, which just by chance is what the view hit test is going to take. Because I'm going to be doing some async stuff in here, let me make this an async function. Awesome. Now, and this is going to keep doing that, blowing up, so I don't care if it keeps refreshing. Let's get that out of the way for now. It's distracting me. I get distracted very easily. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. I need to do a hit test. All right, so const, not bunst. Bunst you're going to do. So const, and I know I'm going to get results on that. It's going to be part of the object. I think the other property I get back is going to be screen point when I do this, but it's okay. I only care about the results. It's going to be equal to view.hitTest the event, because this event already has a screen point. It has I think it's screen X, screen Y, something like that. They're in there. I don't care. I know this works. So now I have my results, and what I want to do with these results. These are just the graphic. So you get the uppermost graphic per layer on the map. So it's not like you're going to get every single graphic you clicked on, right? That'd be kind of insane if you've got like 10 layers, each of them with, 1,000 points in each one. You don't want 10,000 graphics back. It's kind of ridiculous to do something like that. So, okay. So now I know that when I get these results, the one I'm interested in is going to be a graphic that's going to be in the first result array, because yes, it's an array, because there also is going to be stuff in here for the vector tile layer that sits underneath, but those graphics don't mean anything. They're not really graphics per se. They're not something I can really use to do anything meaningful here, but it does tell me that I clicked on something there. And I should talk about vector tile layer hit test stuff at another point, because there is stuff you can do with it, just not in what I'm going to do here. So, okay, so now that I've done that, I am interested in doing, how am I doing again? I need the object ID, right? Because if we look at the, this right here, I need to set the aggregate IDs equal to an array of the object ID for that particular cluster. And you see how it's just going to give me one object ID for the cluster graphic? I mean, I could get object IDs for a bunch of cluster graphics, right? Maybe I select like 5 of them and get back some results. So you could do it. You'll see like how I do this here, that might not be the smartest idea. So spell aggregate IDs. There we go. Is going to be equal. I gotta spell it again. No, I don't. Graphic.get. This one messes me up. It's get object ID, not object IDs. I thought it was Ds. No, I'm not going to make that joke. It's get object ID. So now that I've got that, I can pass this query to my layer view and get my stuff back. So I can go ahead and say that my features. So my layer view, come on, query features, pass that query. Okay, so now I'm gonna get some features back, and I want to give a symbol to those features. I think I can add them, and they'll just be the little default black dots on the screen, but I want to give it a bit more color to pop, so I'm gonna go ahead and iterate over these. So this one always messes me up. Feature of or feature in? I think for an array it's feature of. Feature of. Yeah. X of P or something like that. Key in O, and it is X of something. Well, you get the idea. Of is what I want here. So now what I can do is I can say feature dot symbol is going to be equal to symbol. Okay, so that's done. Now I can just very easily add these graphics to the map, and with the graphics there, that is part of the view, the default one. Add many, so I can add a lot of them. I could add them one at a time in here, but then I think that'd be kind of weird, like they pop up at a time, but I don't want to do that. No, they're not graphics. I call them features. Well, glitch is pretty good telling me that's not there. It doesn't exist. I like that. Some other stuff would just throw a weird error at runtime. So, okay, so if I'm going to do add graphics there, then I probably on click want to say remove all the graphics. Remove all. Yeah, so that's how you do that. I am being very cocky and say it's going to work the first time around. If it doesn't, we'll open up the console log. Didn't work. All right, refresh. It'll work right now. Watch. Bet you it'll work right now. Damn it. Okay. Graphic get object ID is not a function. Maybe what I want to do here. Okay, here's what I'll do this instead. Results.find. And I want to find the one where, what is that stupid thing? Is aggregate. There we go. That's what I want. X dot is aggregate. Now I should definitely have the one that is an aggregate cluster object. Right? Right. Damn it. I make this mistake before. So this is the first time I've done this. It's an object that has a graphic on here. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. And it should be x dot graphic. Actually, let me do that. There. So now we're saying that, yeah, now I'm going to find the graph. I could just grab the first one now that I know that I'm doing this. But that is not a new issue for me. I've done that same stupid mistake a number of times. Bam, there we go. Wow, that's a lot of points. That one little cluster makes up all of these points here, which, wow. So if I click on this one, so it takes, I think it takes longer just to dump them in there than anything else. So I just want to log out how many there are. Console.log features.length. All right, so just give me a count of how many there are. I mean, if I was gonna do like, you know, a good demo, I think there's better demos in the SDK than what I'm doing here. But if I wanted to do like something demoable, I would probably put like a little count thing up here or add it to something. 13,892 for that one little graphic there. It's a big data set. 8,239 there. 7,708. The point being, there's a lot of points that make up that one little graphic. Okay, so that's cool, but maybe I don't want to display the points, right? So let's refresh it. What if I want to show like the outline that makes up those points? Maybe I want to do something like show the convex hull of the graphics. And I've done this in 3x before, which was kind of cool. I like doing it in 3x. It was kind of a fun project to work on when I was demoing that, because I showed that demo to a lot of people and they seem to enjoy it. So I'm going to go ahead and try it at 4x. So geometry/geometry engine. So from here, I want the convex hull. Spell that right? No errors about not getting anything. So okay, let's come over here. I need to look at the geometry engine documentation. All right, documentation, people. It's important. All right, it's convex hull. Here we go. So it takes single geometry. I need to combine my points into a multi-point. That would be a what would it be? It's gonna be like a union, I think it is. Here we go. Union. Okay, so I need union 2. So let's go and do that. So union takes a bunch of geometries. All right, so union, like ET here. All right, so bring in the union, convex hull. Let's comment this out for now. Okay, so now I'm going to do, we are going to get my geometry. So geometries equal to features dot map, and just extract the geometry from there. Okay, so now I got my geometries. So now I can just call this my geoms is equal to union geometries. So this should now turn all the points into a multi-point single geometry, right? And now I can get the convex hull by passing that single multi-point geometry into it. So this is how you kind of use Geometry Engine. You do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, stir the pot, and mash that together, right? So that's kind of how this stuff works out. So now I'll just say my C hole, your C hole, is equal to convex hull of my geoms. So now I got a geometry. I hope. So, okay, so I've got a bunch of errors because typing in here. Now let me click on something and see if any errors pop up. No errors popped up. So that means it's either something completely failed, that blocking stuff, or it's still working. So now I want to add a new graphic here. So I'm going to add the view.graphics.add. Now let's make it an object. And it's going to have attributes that are empty and a geometry that's my C hole. I think that'll work. We'll find out. All right, so yeah, there you go. So it's just a black outline. So I need something here. The ArcGIS symbol playground. All right, so I need something for a simple fill symbol. Okay, color. I want it to be empty. All right, boom, boom. But I do want an outline. So I want an outline that's going to be like super bright. Okay, so yeah, this is how this is a great utility to get to use if you want some symbols for your apps, is the ArcGIS symbol playground. It's awesome. I'm digging it. So, okay, so we make a symbol here. And that, of course, is going to be my simple fill symbol. Let's try this again. Okay. All right. Bam, there we go. I got my nice convex hull around the areas that would be clustered. This is nicer than showing each of the individual points, especially something like this where you've got like 10, 15, 20,000 points to make up a single cluster. I mean, that's ridiculous, man. Don't show all those points. This is much easier to do. I can zoom to this extent of the convex hull, remove it, show the new cluster data, right? That'd be kind of cool. I have to watch for the extent change and all that cool stuff, or scale or something, right? But either way, that's how you can do really cool stuff with the clusters now. And if you look at the doc, I mean, you could do queries with statistics on the data and everything. I mean, it's really nice to have some fun with. So take advantage of that for your apps. Have some fun with them. Toy with them. If you got questions or something, I mean, you could hit me up. Like I said, I don't use this too often. I'm gonna get myself more familiar with it. But if you hit me up, I can give you a fake answer. I can try. We'll see what happens. But yeah, have fun with it. Thanks.